before we formally start our discussion, Anna, please lead us prayer. And if the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen. Amen. Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, amen. Thank you, Anna. You may take your seat. Good morning, my dear students. So before you take your seat, please pick up the trashes of papers and please align your chairs properly. So thank you. You may now take your seat. So is there any absentees today? Okay, great. We are all complete for today's lesson. So last time we have an assignment, right? So Miss Secretary kindly compiled our assignment and kindly give it to me after the class. Thank you. So now before we proceed on our discussion, let us have an activity or a game. So this game is what we call the Wheel of Fortune. So this is called as a Wheel of Fortune because once the spinner stops on your name, then you are the one who will be answer the question. So these colors will be related on our discussion or in my questions for you. So now we may start our activity. So the first lucky student is Janelle. Okay, Janelle, so my question for you is related on this picture. So can you describe what is in this picture? Okay, very good. So this picture shows the weather forecast in Manila in a certain time and a certain day. Okay, very good. So for our second student, okay, EJ. So you are the one who will answer my question. So since the spinner stops on color yellow, my question for you is, what is the chance of getting color yellow in this spinner? Okay, very good. 2/8. The next one is Angelica. Okay, Angelica, my question for you is, what is the chance of getting color blue in this spinner? Okay, that's great. So the last question is, yes, Jasmine, what is the chance of getting color green in this spinners? Okay, that's great. That is correct. Thank you. So for the last question, what is the chance of getting color purple in this spinner? Okay, very good. So thank you for cooperating on our first activity. So okay, students, let us start our lesson proper. So what have you noticed on our activity or based on our first game? What have you noticed? Yes, Daisy. Okay, very good. So earlier I revealed the picture and we use this spinner with different colors. So for you, what will be our lesson for today? Yes? Okay, very good. Our lesson for today is probability and predictions. So probability and predictions. So when we say probability, so what comes into your mind when we say probability? So I thought that some of you have a background knowledge in probability since you guys already discussed it in your elementary days, right? Okay, very good. So in probability of an event is the chance or likelihood of it happening. So before we formally start in our topic of what is probability, let us first define what is an event. So an event heads up has two possible outcomes, the head and the tails, right? Okay. So the landing the coin, this is what we call the event. Okay? So in probability, we can use different phrases to describe the probability of an event. So in probability of an event, it can be impossible, unlikely, even chance, likely, or certain. Okay, who can give me an example of impossible? Okay, very good. So how about the even chance? So when we say even chance, it is a 50-50%. So the best example of even chance is tossing a coin, because tossing a coin has two possible outcomes, right? It has one tail and one head. So tossing a coin is the best example of even chance. Okay, very good. So you can use ratio, fraction, decimal in conducting an probability. So for example, let us have a 1:2. 1:2 is equivalent as 1/2 in fraction. Okay. So how about in decimal? What is the equivalent of 1/2 in decimal? Okay, very good. 0.5. How about in percentage? It is equivalent as 50%. Okay, very good. Now that you have a background knowledge, or you are all familiar with probability, let me give you an example. So my first example, yes, we did. The first example is a die is rolled. Its 6 faces are labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 respectively. So my question is, what is the probability of getting more than 2? So we all know that in a dice we have 6 faces, right? Because a dice S is a cube, right? And a cube has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So my question is, what is the probability of getting more than 2? Yes, Joanne? Okay, very good. So the answer for my first question is 4/6 or 2/3. Okay, so how some of you are still confused on how Joanne get that answer. So I can so since the question is what is the chance of getting more than 2, we are now get what are the numbers that are more than 2, and those are 3, very good, 4, 5, and 6. So how many numbers are this? 1, 2, 3, and 4. So 4/6 or 2/3. Okay, very good. That you already know how to get the probability of an event. So let us move from the second example. A bag of fruit contains 3 apples, 4 oranges, 2 mangoes, and 1 guava. So my question for this is, what is the probability of getting an apple? Yes, Carl? Okay, very good. So the answer for this is 30%. Okay, 30%. How did you get that? Because apple are 3. We have 3 apples out of 10 fruits. So for this one, we are going to make it in percentage. So it is 30%, right? Okay, very good. So for the third example, a steamer has face marked with animals. So let us think of a spinner containing three bees, three bugs, one fish, and one butterfly. So my question is, what is the probability of getting a fish? So the answer is, okay, very good. 1/8, or in decimal, it is 0.125. So how did you get it? Since my question is a fish, we only have one fish over 8 animals. So when we compute this 1/8, we are getting 0.125 in decimal form. So 0.125 is less than 0.5 here in the diagram. So 0.125 for this question is unlikely impossible to get. Okay, so when we say unlikely impossible to get, there is a big chance that you will not get that outcome. Okay. So is there any question, students? Okay, very good. And so far, so did you understand? Okay, very good that you understand what we are talking about. So my last question is, a bag contains letter cards R, S, N. So we have 6 card letters. So if you draw a card from the bag without looking, so imagine in a bag we have 6 letters. So we are randomly getting the letters. So what is the probability of drawing R or S? So this one is quite difficult. Why? Because we are getting 2 outcome. Okay. So unlike this first 3 examples, we are only getting 1 outcome. But while in this example, we are getting 4 or S. So some of you are confused on how we will get R or S in probability. So we are having a formula for this one. So the formula for this one is the probability of an event is frequency of event over the total number of outcomes. Just like what we did in the first 3 examples. So in this example, we are looking for R or S. So R, we are counting how many R contains. So we have 2 R. So 2 or S. So how many S? Only 1. Okay, very good. And the total number of outcomes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 6. So when we simplify this is 3 over 6 or 1/2 or in percentage. So we can easily understood. So 1/2 is equal to 15%. So getting the probability of R or S, it is the even chance, just like tossing a coin, because tossing a coin has 2 possible outcomes, right? So this one is 50% though. So this can be you can get, and you have a 50% that you can get that outcome. So let me have another example for this one. So how about drawing? What is the probability of drawing N or R? So in N we have 3 plus how many are those? 2. Very good. So how many outcomes ano? Yes. So getting N or is possible, okay? So is there any questions regarding our discussion? So is that clear? Okay, very good. So is there any questions? None so far. So is there any questions? Again? Is there any questions, clarifications, or any violent reactions? Okay, none so far. Very good. Okay, thank you. I think you all understand well and all ready for our activity. So our activity, for your activity, what we are going to do is a group activity. So for our group activity, we have that 12 months in a year. So what are you going to do? So for today, go to your respective groups since I already divided the class into 5 groups for us to have a limited time in this discussion. Okay? So kindly go to your respective groups and answer the following. So many are still have a question mark on your mind. So on how we will get the answer for this activity. So for your activity, you will work in groups, okay? To do this task. So what are you going to do? You are going to make a survey to determine the birth month of every student or your classmates. Then write the corresponding answers here in the given blank, okay? So after you conduct the survey, I will call your group in front and I will ask a question for you, okay? So for us to be organized, organized in our discussion, kindly one representative per group so that we have a smooth discussion. Okay, I will give you 10 minutes to do this group activity. So for your rubrics, 40% for your content, precise answer is 40% also, and creativity is 20%. So you will going to think how will you make this activity more creative, okay? So is there any question regarding on our activity? Okay, none so far. So now you may start. Okay, time's up. Okay, great. So now, thank you for cooperating on our group activity. So I think you really understood our lesson for today. But I want you to check if my assumption is correct. If you already if you already clarified on the questions of how we will get the probability of an event. So what is predictions and probability again? Okay, very good. Very good. So my question for you is how can you relate it in our situation? Okay, very good. Precise answer. A good point. So we can use predictions by we will know what will be the outcome for what we are doing right now. So we will know what will be the possible outcome and the probability is the possible outcome of an event. So so as a grade 7 students, what do you think is the importance of predictions and probability? Okay, this helps us to know what will be the probable event of outcome or in a certain thing. Okay, very good. That's a good point. So do you have any questions about our discussion? Okay, none. Very good, thank you. So if none, we will have a seat work. So are you ready? Okay. So for your seat work, So for your seat work, what you are going to do is get your math notebook. Okay. So we can notice here a spinner again. So 60 pupils were surveyed to find out which snack is most popular with grade 7 students. So the result of the survey is shown in the spinner. So these are the questions, okay? So in 1 to 5, you are going to answer the questions given. For the second part, you are going to write the word certain, likely, even, unlikely, or impossible in the blank to describe its probability. Is that clear? Okay, very good. So I will give you 5 minutes to do that task. Okay, time's up. So for your assignment, I'll give you your assignment for today. So for your assignment, it is located in your textbook, pages 214 to 215. So if you have any questions or if you want to clarify your assignment, kindly check on me, okay, or you can message me. So that's all for today, grade 7 students. Goodbye, grade 7 students. Thank you for cooperating on our class. See you again on next meeting.